We've titled this segment The Full Hybrid Story, and at first blush that might sound a little curious. Trust me, when it's over, you'll understand why. Now, I've worked in the automotive industry for better than 30 years now, and I still struggle on a daily basis to remain current on all the new technologies out there. But I'll tell you what I have come to learn. They're not all created equal. They may share similar labels, but the truth is they don't work the same way. Let me give you a perfect example. You know that the '08 Escape has a full hybrid version. Interesting that for Saturn, they have a mild hybrid version of their vehicle, the Saturn Vue. Now, to the consumer, that might sound like, well, a little piece of innocent vocabulary. The truth is, the differences are significant. Now, for those of you who are a little inclined to be somewhat intimidated by more advanced technologies, I got to tell you, I found two sources inside Ford Motor Company that did a great job of really breaking down this kind of technology. This hot sheet did a great job. This is a single pager that really does articulate this vehicle and a really solid understanding of just how hybrids in the end actually work. And this booklet I'm nuts about. I think this thing works great. This is a handbook that really, again, breaks down the technology, tells you how to sell it, what does it really mean in terms of impact to the earth, and even includes driving tips so people can actually get the most out of their hybrids. They're available on eSourcebook, and I think they are a must-have. Now, let's jump in here and let me kind of show you what I'm talking about when I talk about how people can misuse the title. Case in point, you know that the driveline and powertrain of this vehicle, the '08 Escape, is all about being a full usable hybrid. Isn't it interesting that Saturn would come to market and I think to a large degree actually mislead the buyer by telling them that they have a mild hybrid? Again, sounds innocent enough. I just want you to understand what the differences really are. The differences are they took the alternator and modified it so it's a starter motor, a charger, and of course, a method for continuing to keep the battery charged. But it only goes at 36 volts. Now that's going to mean more in just a minute. But let me just put it to you this way. If this thing's moving, it is running on gasoline. So while this buyer thought they were doing their part for the planet and really wanted a full hybrid, in all probability didn't realize they were buying an extraordinary compromise. Now, in terms of Vue versus Escape, well, it really does come down to mileage, doesn't it? Let me kind of give you a sense of it. If you take the base Escape, even with a V6, and then take a hybrid, the mileage difference between the two is significant. However, take that same comparison to Saturn Vue gas engine, as opposed to the Saturn Vue, well, mild hybrid. Isn't it interesting how much closer the numbers actually run? And frankly, I think that's one of the key compromises in going with a mild hybrid. I want to remind you, the '08 Escape is a genuine SUV and a genuine full hybrid. A 70 kilowatt motor that powers the vehicle as well as recharges the 330, not 36, 330 volt battery pack. 5 major components in this vehicle, and frankly, they really shouldn't intimidate you in terms of their technology, but they're worth knowing about. The gas engine, the electric motor, of course, the system controller, it's pretty critical stuff, regenerative braking, and a 330 volt battery pack that's all attached to a continuously variable transmission. I mean, that's what we're talking about when you really get serious. 5 major components as opposed to, well, a modified alternator. And the driving experience is the first place you see it, in the acceleration and the smoothness. And as I said before, if the Saturn's moving, it's running on the gas engine. You can actually drive the '08 Escape at 25 miles an hour on the battery only. That's the difference between a full hybrid. Oh, and options. Well, are there compromises to be made? I don't know, you decide. Available intelligent 4-wheel drive, available full leather interior, available moonroof, and of course, available satellite radio. You know, Saturn went another way. They really targeted, well, a price point, and the compromises were rich in the driving experience, in the tailpipe emissions, and of course, in mileage. You know, every mile of every day when you drive this vehicle, there is no compromise because the '08 Escape continues to change our world. We told you we called this the full hybrid story. You see now why we thought it was so important.